Hey, Coach Dana Williams here with Chief Performance Training and Coaching, also Coach Ryan. Today, if you're following us on our website at cheappt.com or on our YouTube channel, you know that we do a monthly blog or a vlog, and our final one of the decade of 2019 is a vlog. And what we decided to do it on is an important topic that all of us who ride deal with, and that is bike fit. Ryan here, he's a master bike fitter. He has been fitting bikes for 10 years. It is definitely a passion of mine. Can you speak to a little of, people out there watching, why is it important for them to address, a bike fit at this time of the year?
Yeah, it's a good fall, winter is usually the best time to get fit. Just for most of the disciplines in cycling, you're pretty far off from your target events or races or goals. So that's going to give you the most time possible to adapt to a fit. So even if your previous fit wasn't working for you and then we fit the bike and it's perfect, if you all of a sudden come out on a new position, the body's in a new spot, there's different muscle firing patterns, all kinds of variables, and then you hit it with too much volume or too much intensity, you can develop some pain and stuff like that. So it just gives you plenty of time, weeks and months, to really do some easy miles and adapt to any changes you've made in your bike position.
Ryan's been doing my fit for a couple of years now. The last time we did it, he looked at it, everything worked well. It's been working for me, but one of the things he mentioned is crank length. I was on a 172.5 SRAM cranks, and he suggested 167.5. He's going to speak to why that recommendation and that was to go a shorter crank length. We're going to go hop up on the bike, take a look at my position as it was right now that I've been using the last 10 years. And then I have a new bike. We're going to get that fit and then show you the finished position with the new crank length. Sound good?
Sounds good. Let's get started.
All right, let's do it.
All right, so the main thing that we're trying to go over today is crank length. Crank length directly affects hip angle, right? The longer the crank, the higher the knee is going to come up and the more acute that hip angle is going to be. And that can be very, very problematic. Most Westerners, most Americans don't have great hip function, and the standards of crank length, the 1725, 175, 170, those were kind of brought about at the turn of the 20th century with the safety bicycle. So there's no real science behind it. So a lot of times when I'm suggesting a crank length, it can seem like it's a shorter than maybe expected, but really it all comes down to what the rider's hip function is. So I'm gonna do a quick range of motion test on Dana here, just see where his hip mobility is in that range of motion, and then we can kind of compare that to what his current position is affording him, and then also compare that to the final position with the shorter cranks. So go ahead and lie back here. We're gonna bring you into flexion. And so with Dana here, his mobility's okay. I would say it's mild to moderately restricted. In a perfect world, no restriction in mobility, we'd be seeing, his knee up against his chest without any sort of tightness. So what we can see is I bring it into flexion, and you can start to feel it affect the other leg. You can start to see it tug there. And so, yeah, he can probably force it deeper, but this is the beginning of the restriction, which is where I want to avoid as he's coming over the top of the pedal stroke. So this angle here is like maybe 105 degrees, so I would say moderate to mildly restrictive. And so on the bike, we just want to make sure that he's not anywhere near this, end of his range of motion on the bike.
So right off the bat with the 1725 cranks, his hip angle is looking more acute than what I was seeing during the range of motion test. Knees coming up pretty high, and if we want to compare this to the fit with the 167.5 cranks, you can see the hip angle is more open, the knee's not coming up as high, and he's actually able to flatten out his back a little bit more and create more of a neutral riding position, which just has a ton of benefits. Here are the two fits side by side, pre-fit on the left, post-fit on the right, and again, it's subtle, but you can just see a little bit more of a fluid motion in the pedal stroke and more of a neutral riding position overall.
Hope you enjoyed the vlog on bike fit. If you're going to be sitting on your bike for long periods of time and you want to be comfortable, get the maximum performance out of yourself, then you definitely want to get a bike fit. Ryan, anything final that you want to just add to
Yeah, I mean, with anyone that's a cyclist, you're on your bike for at least an hour, sometimes about 4, 5, 6 hours. So if you think about it, if you're pedaling at 90 RPM, a 3-hour ride, that's probably about 10,000 pedal strokes in a repetitive motion. So the thing to remember is even if your bike fit's working for you, if you haven't had it really looked at and adjusted by a professional, chances are there's some compensatory movement in there, and compensatory movement will lead to issues down the line, whether it's 2 weeks from now or 10 years from now. So get it checked out. It's the best time of year to get it taken a look at. And yeah.
Definitely. Just want to give a quick shout out to our partners that have been with us for, especially this year. Assos did our custom kits. We have a couple still around if anybody's interested. We have our friends at SRAM. I got the new bike here, got the new Access on it, new Specialized Tarmac. Really looking forward to riding that. Our friends also at Zip, they give us some nice quality parts, and then a new Reform custom saddles, a heat molded saddle. I have it on the bike here. I'm really looking forward to trying that in the new year. So thanks again. Happy New Year. Have a great 2020. Crush it out there, and we'll see you soon.
Thanks, guys.